Tiffany here. Welcome back to Broke Girl Aesthetic and another episode of my Pinspiration. Today I'm going to use some air dry clay and this cute little piece that I got from the Dollar Tree in the candle holder section. I searched everywhere to find one of those to go with the inspirations that I found, and these two pins here are what I'm going to try to recreate. So starting with the candle holder, I'm using my DOS air dry clay. I got this from Amazon. I'll link that in the description box. And I love this stuff. I've used it a few times. After this project dwindled my supply, so I'm gonna have to stock up. It's so easy to use and it's not that expensive, so it's really nice. So I'm going to break off some little chunks here for this one. Now I just want to make sure I knead it to make it nice and malleable to make my little rainbow. I'm going to end up painting with this Bambi Brown by Delta Ceramcoat. I'm also going to use the Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint, and this is in the color Sheepskin. And I'm going to go with the Folk Art Seashell Pink and Folk Art, and this is Villa Green. So those are the four colors I'm going to use to put this piece together. So I'm going to do 4 arches, or whatever you want to call them, for this little rainbow. So I'm just kneading it, making sure it's nice and malleable. So what I'm going to do is just roll these out into little rolls, tubes, snakes. I don't know. What what are they called? I never really know. And with my hands, I'll just keep rolling these into skinny rolls, so then I can form my little rainbow. I think it was at this point I realized that I had too much clay. I didn't really need all that, so I'm trying to determine how big I want to make this on my little candle holder, and that's about the size I want. So now I know where to cut it, and then I just line them up from there. And I decided to go with 3 instead of 4 because I wanted to use the 4 colors, but I didn't want all 4 colors on the rainbow, and I wanted to paint the candle holder to go with the inspo. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to check and make sure that it's going to fit. Determine where I need to put it. Shaping it up and looking to see where I'm going to need to trim off. So I'm just using these random clay working tools that I got. I don't know, probably from Amazon with a kit of something else a long time ago. I don't know. So I'm going to trim these off, and then I'm going to set the little rainbow to the side to cure overnight. And I'm going to paint each of those arches separately and reassemble it. So now I'm going to work on the other project, which is the bigger planter. I think it'd be cute to also use it like as a pen holder, or whatever, just to so just like before with the other candle holder I'm going to roll out the length of the clay to construct my rainbow. And this is, the whole front is going to be that rainbow, so I'm going to have more than, I'm going to have several of these little rolls to do. So just keep rolling it out until it's nice and skinny. I want them to be, I want it to be skinnier so I can have more than just a few of those. Alright, now I'm just starting with my first piece here, trimming that. I want to try and make them at least mostly uniform in size. It's not going to be a small piece, but it's not going to be huge either. And I just continue layering this up until I get it filled. Making sure I've got that last little one in the middle to bring it all together and put all of them, get them all together. I'm just lightly pressing on it just to try and help it, kind of stay together a little bit. Using my tools to just kind of smooth it out, smash it together a bit, separate some of these where there's, those obvious like bubbles, I guess, or whatever. But it's organic and I like that. I like that it's not perfect. That's kind of the whole point. So I'm just trimming off the excess here. And everything's going to get sanded at some point. So there's the arch rainbow thing part mostly done. Now I'm going to put another layer behind to keep it intact. I mean, I wasn't really worried about it, but I was kind of worried about it. So I'm just going to smash out my clay. I really didn't feel like bringing out my heavy marble rolling pin for a little bit of clay, so I'm just hand smashing it down. I'm just carefully unsticking it from my desktop. Just lay it on that other little piece and I can cut it to the proper size to put it all together. And I'm going to take my tool and do that crosshatch bit on the back of my rainbow and then on the other flat piece to help it go together, as it were. I don't know if this is how you do this. This is how I do it, so it does end up working. I mean, it's fine. Just roughing it up. It's got a little water, so that helps too. A little bit of water, a little bit of scratches, a little bit of water, a little bit of scratches, until that part is done. And then just sealing up the sides and the bottom. Make sure that it's sticking together, which it did fabulously. I don't know how, but it did. And I'm just dipping my little tool into the water and smoothing that out. Alright, so I'm moving on to the sides and the back and the bottom. And I thought I was going to try and do the sides and the back in one piece, and I probably could have, had I made it thicker. I was going to just try and, bend it, and then realizing I don't think it's going to hold up while it needs to dry. So I scrapped that idea, and I end up just cutting my pieces. So here I'm just cutting a long rectangle, and it doesn't matter if it reaches if it's the same top to bottom as the rainbow, because the rainbow can be higher or a little lower. It doesn't really matter, but it's about right. So I'm just going to go with that, smooth it out, and get it all to an equal thickness. And now I'm going to work on the bottom. Same thing, I'm just using some water to help get some moisture back in it, but smash it out. Try to make the thickness about even. And here's where I'm going to attempt to make it all one piece. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. Maybe you've heard me say this before, I don't really work with clay very often, so I'm not real adept. And again, had I been using thicker layers, probably would have been fine, but here's where I scrapped the idea. And just decide to cut the pieces and glue it together later. So let's let these dry and we'll come back and put it together. So it's been a few days. These are all cured and dry, and now I'm going to take sandpaper to everything, and I'm just going to use some super glue, maybe a little hot glue, to put everything together. First is this one, and I'm going to paint and then glue the rainbow on, and then I'll paint the other part. And for the bigger one, I'm going to put that all together and then paint that. But everything needs sanded. I'm using 40 grit and 80 grit, and I think I actually grabbed a 120 grit as well off camera. It's just to sand everything, make it nice and smooth and even. No sharp edges or corners or whatever, so everything fits together nicely. Alright, so while that other one is glued and setting up, I'm going to go ahead and paint and assemble that one. So the sheepskin is the color I'm going to use on the glass, the Folk Art Home Decor chalk paint. Set that off to the side. So first we're going to use again, it's the Seashell Pink and the Villa Green from Folk Art and the Bambi Brown from Delta Ceram Coat. Those are the colors I picked. Wanted it to have more of a, cute boho vibe, earthy tones. I didn't want it to be bright or anything like that. Just cute. So I was gonna try and paint and leave room, but then I just said no. So I'm gonna use hot glue to put the whole thing together. Just be easier, and I kind of ran out of super glue on the other projects, so realizing I didn't show on camera how I put it together, but I thought I recorded it, but I guess I must not have. So I'm just going to paint the little rainbow. And you can hardly see it. It's a really light pink. And I only give these one coat. I don't go over more than that. I just paint the outside and the top for the first one, and then for, I didn't paint where the glue is going to go. So again, I'm just attaching with hot glue, kind of hold it together. I didn't actually glue the pieces together, they just fit inside each other really nicely. Hot glue on the rainbow, and then just pressing it down, pressing the glass down on top of it. Let it sit for a minute. Look how cute. Now I could leave it like this, but I really do want to, you know, paint that glass. I may do more of these. They're so cute. And I'm just, like I said, going to paint with the sheepskin. And I started with this, and then I do end up going in and adding some baking soda to this chalk paint. I wanted to have better texture, a little more coverage, so. And I'm just, like, as you can see, I'm just getting in underneath there. I had fun painting the center part, but. So that one is done now. Look how cute. I love it. It turned out really good, I think. So leaving that off to the side to dry, and moving on to that last one. Now this is how this is was looking. I glued it together, used some more clay to fill it in, kind of any gaps or whatever. It's pretty sturdy, and I'm using the Dusty Rose terracotta from Folk Art. I really love this color. It's so pretty. Again, not doing bright colors. So let's go to the reveal. This one is so cute. It turned out pretty much what I was hoping for, and for just $1.25, some clay and some paint, I think I realized the vision I had in my head. It was actually a combination of two different pens I saw, but based on the one that I used, I think I kind of got the vibe I was looking for. And this guy was a lot of more of a struggle, and it turned out cute. However, I do want to try it again, perhaps on a larger scale with, you know, a bit bigger, and see how that turns out. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think of these, and if this is content that you enjoy, would you consider hitting that subscribe button? Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're alerted to when I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Take care, y'all. Bye.